Welcome to Hope is Here, bringing hope to those struggling with life's difficult situations.
Welcome to Hope is Here. My name is GregJHorn. We are continuing conversations with some amazing authors about some wonderful books here at the Christian Product Expo. We're just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and it's just been wonderful talking with so many wonderful authors about some awesome books that I know are helping people encourage to grow in their faith. So many different topics in the faith area, but we're fortunate enough today to be joined by Linda Evans Shepherd. She is the author of Praying Through Hard Times, How to Give Your Worries to God and Rediscover Hope. She's come all the way from Longmont, Colorado, so welcome to the South. Linda, thanks for being with us on Hope is Here.
Well, I'm very glad to be here, and I started out in the South, if you call it Texas South.
Okay, hey, we'll count that. That's a ways from Kentucky, but absolutely. The summers in Texas are definitely south, yes. So we understand that part completely. But you may hear a little noise in the background occasionally because this is a happening place here at the Christian Product Expo, but such an awesome environment. And, you know, Linda, one of the things that to me is always a prerequisite for me if somebody is a guest on Hope is Here and we talk about a book is that they have kind of lived through what they're sharing about. It's not just research. That's obviously some of it, but they've actually lived it and praying through hard times, how to give your worries to God and rediscover hope. You've lived some of this. To share with our audience a little bit of your story, if you don't mind. And we'll get into the book. We got two programs, so we'll get into the book. But just share a little bit of your personal story, please.
Well, thank you. I'd be happy to do that. And this all started when my husband and I were, not newly married, but we were having our first baby, and she was a beautiful girl. We loved her. Her name was Laura, and when she was 18 months old, we were just in a terrible car crash, and my daughter's car seat was thrown into the freeway, and the problem was that she hadn't died, but she wouldn't wake up. And my beautiful daughter slept for an entire year. And I have to say that during that year, I just kept saying, Lord, where are you? What's happening? How come I can't feel your presence? But I just, I stood for my daughter because she was still alive. And I want you to know that it was the moment that we put her new baby brother in her arms. That was the moment she woke up, not from vegetative state, as the doctors had said. They had put me through the ringer on that. She woke up from coma. She came back to us. And she came back. She was disabled. And I say, so what? She's my daughter. She's back. Jesus sent her back after a year. She definitely was on mission. She was on a mission from God, and it was very clear what that mission was. She came back with so much love and peace and joy. And when I would ask her, Laura, where were you? Were you with Jesus during that time? Here she was paralyzed from the neck down. She would lift her hands above her head, and she would laugh and smile, and then slowly put her hands back into her lap. And then I said to her, and I believe you sat in his lap. She did it again. People would come into my home and they would say, what is that? And I would say, what is what? And they would say, I don't know, it's kind of like a river of peace in here. And I would be, oh, that's just my daughter. But she radiated peace. People could feel it when they walked into our home. And she had a little brother, and my son is now he's 36 now, and he's getting married, and he is saving. She's gone on to be with the Lord, but he is saving a seat in honor of his sister, and he's going to tell the wedding party that she was such a source of love and joy in our home. And for all the doctors who always pressured me to pull her plug and to end her life, they had no idea that she was a real person who loved Jesus and meant so much to her family. And how blessed I am that I withstood all of that pressure, and I kept my daughter to live her earthly life.
Amen and amen. Wow, that's powerful there. I appreciate you sharing that, and your son's upcoming wedding.
Yes.
Rejoice in that, and that your daughter will be remembered, the wonderful person that she was. You wrote this book, Praying Through Hard Times, How to Give Your Worries to God and Rediscover Hope. Why do you call Praying Through Hard Times your boomerang book?
Well, it went out of print about, 4 years ago, and my readers did video emails to my publisher and demanded that they bring the book back. And they did it. So for a limited time, it is available right now. And this book is changing lives. And people are telling me that it is teaching them how to give their worries and trust the Lord in a way they didn't know was possible.
Well, I know so many people that are struggling with worries and anxiety and sadness and pain. And, how did you become a prayer expert regarding these troubled times?
Well, I always wanted to be a good prayer person. I remember as a little girl I would say, God, I can talk to you, but you can't talk to me. I didn't understand that, well, number one, picking up the Word and reading the Word, you're going to hear the voice of God in your life, and that's really the number one way. But I just didn't understand. I would get so upset and depressed that I wouldn't pray. I would think my prayers were bouncing on the clouds of heaven and nothing was getting through. But when I became such a desperate mom, and when I really wanted to know what was going on, how do I talk to God, I just started talking to God. And I became a prayer expert because I began to talk to God. It wasn't that hard.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I've been in ministry. God called me later in life in ministry, my mid-30s. And the thing I found in the past 20-plus years of ministry, both full-time and bivocationally, Linda, is that I feel like maybe sometimes we just make prayer too difficult. Mm-hmm. Have you found that to be true in your journey as a follower of Jesus?
It is. And, the thing is, we get all of this, I call it stacking worries. We've got this grief, we've got that anxiety, we've got that worry. We're trying to carry that, when what we really need to do is serve all of that to the Lord. He does not want us to carry all of that baggage, all of those dirty dishes, if you will. He wants us to lay them at His feet and to let go and to allow Him to turn all of those things into blessings and miracles. And that's what we don't get. We get so stressed out about the problem in front of us, we can't even imagine that God is turning it into good or using it for His glory or to turn it into a blessing for us. And so what I teach people is give it to God. And I have all kinds of funny prayers I teach them to pray, like, to get all this stuff in your arms and to think about all the worries that you're carrying, and then just to say to the Lord, Lord, all of this is your problem. And just lay it at His feet, and then ask for the power and the strength to let go of it. When we can get to that place in prayer, then we can trust God on a whole new level, because honestly, the thing that is kind of like the kryptonite to prayer is fear. When we are fear praying our prayers, oh no, and oh Lord, oh, instead of saying, God, I trust you. I'm giving this to you. You are my God who loves me, and you can take care of me through this. We will see unbelievable miracles. In fact, I have one to tell you right now. All right. Okay, well, this happened like 35 days ago. I'm up in Breckenridge. Breckenridge has the gondola running all summer long for free, and we had family. We went up the gondola. It's the place where all the people carry their ski equipment up before they go sliding down the mountain on their skis. Well, I wasn't going to do that because I was going to be safe. I was just going to walk around at the top and go have lunch at the hamburger joint up there. I get to the top. They stop the gondola. You're supposed to step out. Well, at the same time, it's slowly turning. But then, as I got 1 foot on the ground, that gondola began to swing wildly, and it struck me in the back. I crumpled to the ground. They said, "Can you get up?" I said, "Yes, no." I couldn't get up because I was having a tornado of spasms in my back. So, to make a long story short, when I finally got to the ER, they said, well, what happened? And I told them, and they said, where does it hurt? And when they touched the spot on my back, it sounded like popping bubble wrap. And they were like, oh no. And they ran and we did a body scan, and they came to me and they got right in my face and they said, listen to me. You didn't just crack your ribs. You have badly broken your ribs. They said, you have to understand that they're not even going to heal in alignment. They're going to be misaligned. And I did catch a glimpse of the scan, and sure enough, what I saw was brokenness. So I left the hospital because I'm not a fan. We drove down the mountain because my oxygenation was only 85, which is not that great. But I knew if I got to lower altitude, I would be better, and I was. And so that morning when I woke up, here's the prayer I prayed. I said, Lord, I'm getting ready to go to CBA. I'm leading a conference of authors there. I cannot believe that I so badly broke my ribs yesterday. And I said, Lord, you know what? I'm just going to trust you. I am going to trust you. You say in your words, by your stripes we were healed. So yes, I'm going to ask you to heal me. But no matter what, Lord, I trust you through this. And at that moment, I felt such love and peace. And so I was able to get up. I was able to go to my doctor who wanted new x-rays. And they called me up and they said, the same day, they said, we don't know why you think you have all these broken ribs because you only have one cracked rib. And from that moment on, that pain lifted off of me. Here I am. I'm feeling great. The Lord healed me, and the prayer of faith turned out to be the prayer of trust.
Wow. Prayer of faith became the prayer of trust. Man, I love that. I think sometimes we don't think God's still in the miracle business, but over 2,000 years later, he still is, isn't he?
He certainly is. He loves us, and he has his best interest for us. And sometimes it is through these difficulties that we grow and that we learn. And I think a lot of them are designed to help us learn how to trust him more, because bad things are going to happen. We're going to have that kid. We're going to have that thing. We're going to have that job. We're going to have the situation. And when we say, and we truly mean it, I'm going to trust you with this, Lord, that's when the miracle starts. Number one, that you are able to trust God like that. That's a miracle. But number two, you can then just sit back and watch the Lord move.
Amen and amen. I love the strength that came from when you surrendered and said, I'm going to trust you, God. He was able to release his healing power, and that you are here, and you would never know. You just had that accident in Breckenridge, Colorado just recently, but you're here healthy, alive, and well. And, man, I'm super excited because we're just scratching the surface. Unfortunately, we are out of time on today's program, but the good news is that this wonderful author and speaker and communicator, Linda Evans Shepherd's going to be with us, and tomorrow we're going to dive in a little deeper into this book that has been republished because of demand, Praying Through Hard Times, How to Give Your Worries to God and Rediscover Hope. And obviously, that's the foundation of this program. Hope is here, is to let you know that there's always hope because of Jesus, and she's going to help point us towards that and let you know how you can give your worries to God and rediscover hope. So if you've been blessed by this program, I hope you'll share it with somebody else. I also want to encourage you to go to Linda's website. She's got an easy one to remember, gottopray.com. gottopray.com. I love that she has on her homepage, God knows and understands the needs of those you are praying for and loves them even more than you do. So make sure you join us again tomorrow as we continue our conversation with author Linda Evans Shepherd on Hope is Here.
Thank you for listening to Hope is Here podcast. To listen to one of our previous programs or to make a tax-deductible donation, please go to our website, hopeishere.today. That's hopeishere.today.
Need something dry cleaned or embroidered? Look no further than locally owned Superior Dry Cleaners and Embroidery. Conveniently located on Versailles Road with almost 50 years of experience, you can trust Superior to do a great job with any dry cleaning or embroidery needs you have. Support your local family-owned Superior Dry Cleaners and Embroidery. Call them at 859-255-3778. Again, for any dry cleaning or embroidery needs, call 859-255-3778.